Alright everyone, welcome to a brand new video, and this video I have messed up the recording for like probably 8 times, and I'm really on edge. I'm really about to lose it. But Bungie just put out patch notes for the new update that's going to be released pretty soon here, and it's not one of those things where it's completely terrible and you're like, oh, how could they do this? It's the end of the world. But at the same time, it's kind of pushing towards a direction that I preferred the game didn't go. So I wanted this video to kind of serve as a little bit of a community forum to see where everyone's head is at on this update, because to me it's not, like I said, it's not horrible, but at the same time I think it could have been better. I mean, that can be said about any update, but that's just my opinion. So in this patch, the majority of the changes are nerfs. There are a few buffs. I believe auto rifles are getting buffed a little bit, but the main things that stick out, the two big things, are nerfs. The first one, which is not too big of a deal, is the nerf to 90 RPM sniper rifles, which it kind of came out of left field. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense because they just changed them, I think like 5 or 6 months ago, where they made it so that they could one-shot supers in the head, and everyone's like, oh dude, this is amazing, man, it's gonna be so cool, this is the greatest thing ever, it's just like Destiny 1, oh my god, this is crazy. And it seemed like it was universally loved, and then they kind of just came out with this update and said, yeah guys, sorry about that, we're just gonna change it back. So it just didn't really make any sense to me. And then the big one, which is the most important one in my opinion, or at least the most frightening one, is what they did to my boy, The Last Word. And The Last Word was definitely very, very good. I think it was amazing on PC. On console, not so much, which kind of makes the change extra sour for anyone that plays on console. But they did not just change a few things with The Last Word. I highly suggest that you read the patch notes yourself, but they completely murdered my boy. Just so that you don't have to go to the Bungie website and read it yourself, I'm just going to read off everything that they put on that post. Fanfire now adjusts the precision scaler while hip firing. Fanfire impact values have been adjusted. Precision hip / ADS value or damage values adjusted from 67.95 to 68.27 and 52.2. If you're wondering, the first value is how much they do from the hip, and the second value is how much they do while they're ADS. Non-precision hip / ADS adjusted from 50.01 to 38.38. Aiming down sights no longer provides additional effective range. Reduce stability for mouse and keyboard input. Reduce the effective range. And to improve the experience, adjusted the way target acquisition is handled while hip firing. I mean, that's the real key. We may have absolutely just shit all over this weapon, but we've decided to improve the experience, and we've adjusted the way that target acquisition is handled while hip firing. Well, thank God. I thought it was going to be bad, but at least we have that last change. And the worst part is the console players have to receive the punishment for all the sin that was done on PC. Because like I said, it was really good on PC, but it was not anything special on console. And they really murdered it with this nerf. So on console, I feel like it's going to be really, really bad, which sucks for anyone that plays console. And I get it. A lot of times in a game where there's always something that stands out. It's like one item or one weapon that stands out. And in some cases, it stands out just a little bit, but enough to the point where it's the meta weapon. In my opinion, that would be something like the spare rations right now. And then there's some items that are just completely ridiculously broken, where like you have to tone them down a lot. You have no other option. But if you look at something like a spare rations where it's the best, but it's not really that much crazier than anything else, instead of nerfing it or nerfing it a lot, you could bring other things that are close to it up just a little tiny bit. That way everything's sort of even, instead of completely destroying whatever is barely peeking out of the top. Which is weird because it seems like that's exactly what they did with OEM and Lord of Wolves, where it was just super good, and they were just like, oh, I'll just tweak it a little bit, so much so that they had to nerf it multiple times before the community was content with where the gun and where the armor piece was at, referring to the Lord of Wolves and the OEM. But with The Last Word, they said, fuck it, we're doing it in one update. We are all over the life of this thing, which is just scary because I feel like the game was going in a pretty good direction for a long time. Ever since Forsaken came out, they've pretty much just been continuing to buff everything. That includes weapons, subclasses, the way armor perks or mod perks work. And then from here on out, I think it started around like 5 or 6 months ago, it seems like they're going down the path of just nerfing whatever is good. And in case you're confused, I'm primarily referring to primaries. I feel like specials are in a good spot right now. I feel like snipers are fine, shotguns are fine, fusions are pretty fine. They are getting changed. They're changing the way backup plan works, so they're nerfing backup plan in some way, which I guess is good because backup plan was definitely really good. But most of the people that I run into that are controller players on PC that just completely obliterate the rumble lobbies that I'm in, they're not really using that perk anyways. They're using tap the trigger and stick my nuts in the sand perk. perk. I think it's called Firmly Planted is what it's called. So it's not really going to change my experience that much, at least, because all the fusion rifle players I run into that are actually problematic aren't even really using that perk at all. It's just very strange how they're so reluctant to make primaries good. And I've seen this from people on the forums as well, where they think that anytime Bungie is making primary weapons better, or if they make all primary weapons better, that this game will somehow magically transform into Call of Duty. And no matter how much no matter how strong you make weapons in this game, it will never be Call of Duty. If you look at Destiny 1 Year 1, all of the weapons were really, really good. You had Suros, which is amazing as an auto rifle. Hawkmoon, when it first came out, was ridiculous, but that wasn't Call of Duty. It was a very different experience, and just because you make guns better does not magically turn the game into COD. And if you maintain that position and you believe that's true, then please do me a huge favor and explain it to me in the comment section down below, because as it currently stands, I do not understand that argument whatsoever. And I just wanted to make this video to clarify my viewpoints, because it seems like we said the same thing in Destiny 1 Year 3. We're like, oh, especially on like triple stream and everything, it's always talking about, oh, no primary gun skill, all you use is shotguns, or all use the snipers. You know, we need to make primaries better, or whatever. And somehow the message that Bungie got from that was that special ammo was too good, so like shotguns and snipers were too good. So moving into Destiny 2, everyone thought that primaries would be more prevalent, which they were, but they were only more prevalent because every other special was removed and put in the power slot. And subsequently, every primary was made significantly worse than they were in Destiny 1 Year 3, which was the slowest overall time to kill out of any of the different 3 years in Destiny 1. So if they do that again, I'm gonna be upset. So obviously I know nothing about game development. I don't know the testing process or how they decide on what to actually push through into the actual game. But if they just did something where they buffed 150s, they buffed 140s, they made it so that 150s could 2 headshot, 1 body shot, 140s could 1 headshot, 2 body shot, and then they buffed pulses, autos, and scouts accordingly. Instead of having to absolutely murder the last word, all they really had to do was keep it the same, but make it so that body shot damage doesn't do as much damage while you're ADSing. And now would turn it into a 5-shot body shot instead of a 4-shot body shot. And on a side note, I know the whole like 4-shot last word body shot thing really got played up in the main argument for why it should be nerfed, but it wasn't that often that you would hit 4 consecutive shots with it. I know the potential time to kill was really, really fast, but having to reposition your reticle as fast as the gun fires wasn't as easy as it sounds. And a lot of times that translated into realistically taking 6 to 7 shots, even if you're 4-shot body shotting, if that makes any sense, because you're not going to hit all 4 body shots in a row, if that makes any sense. The main thing is I just don't want to see them go back down the Destiny 2 Year 1 route. Obviously, they're not going to get rid of special ammo in its current slot. At least I hope they don't. But if they nerf hand cannons any more than they already have from Shadowkeep, I don't think that's going to be good for the game. I'm on PC, and the game has slowed down considerably when they did that. And I feel like the sweet spot was right before Shadowkeep, at least on PC. And consoles quite a bit slower than PC, so I feel like for console players, they could definitely benefit from the changes I'm proposing to 140s and 150s. As well as like the potential last word change I suggested. So if you are a console player and that sounds better to you than what you're currently playing, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, just if you have any thoughts about anything I've said or any new ideas that you wanted to propose, just leave those in the comment section. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, then dropping a like would be much appreciated. Also, if you already subbed, just click on the bell to enable post notifications, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Peace.
Zone C lost. You captured Zone C. You have advanced. and will beyond the Crucible.